Hey Chase, you have to unrequest. There you go.
Yeah, it just takes a little time to reload sometimes. You know how it is. Twitter and everything. And John, I don't know where you found that Trojan Rhino.
Trojan Rhino. What?
Yeah, I was making a joke about how we could. Okay, so there was an AI prompt, and it was like a horse, and for some reason it made me think of like a Trojan horse, but like a Trojan cow for alien intelligences. You know, like we all fit into a cow to get abducted, and then when we are abducted because it's a cow, right? We all pop out and we're like, boo, you know, and scare the aliens. And then John pulled up a great meme. I don't know where he found it, but it was like a dude in a rhino.
Yeah, it
Do
was
y'all
just an
remember
old.
the old movie Trojan Horse or Trojan War?
With Brad Pitt.
No, no, no. The one where the dude's like he's like a high school dude or college dude, and he's at a party or going to a party, and the whole movie he's like trying to track down some condoms.
Nah, I missed that one.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
epic. Check it out.
yeah, that chase.
It reminds me of like a Dazed and Confused type one, you know, or like Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's that vibe.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, chase that Trojan Rhino. That was just an old Navy trick we used to do back in the day.
Have y'all heard
Dude,
about this company the government or the military hired to outfit our tanks with this technology that bends light waves around it to make it invisible?
Isn't that like a few years old? I have heard of it. I never looked.
Yeah, most people don't know about it though.
Well, I saw this weird video of like these insurgents in maybe Iraq years ago on YouTube. Of course, it's on YouTube, and the video like shows like you can tell there's an Abrams sitting in like dirt alley, and you can barely make out the shape of the tank. And then this American Army guy jumps out of the hatch and runs like to the right of the screen, and he does some stuff. I don't know what he's doing. And then he runs back to the tank and he closes the hatch, and the M1A2 Abrams just disappears completely. Now that could be, CGI. I don't know, but you reminded me of that video that I saw probably, God, like fucking 18 years ago.
it doesn't really
Dang.
surprise me that we can like do that though. I think just kind of like old. How old is that technology? We think.
That could be millions of years of advance. Billions? Who knows?
Yeah, just look at the holographic cards that we had in the '90s. You know, that's the same technology, like lenticular lensing.
Oh man. So there's this guy, Chip Coffee. He's this like famous psychic. He shows how to like clean evil locations. I got to use that on my brain. And this other guy, P.D. Newman, he points out that many species of the acacia tree contain DMT, which like potent psychic, right? This guy, I think it's Jeffrey Mishlev. He's talking about that. Says the earliest writings refer to the use of the acacia tree to derive the philosopher's stone.
Yeah, I got a
So
buddy
Yeah,
who
bro.
would make his own, and I think he would get it. He would just order acacia in bulk, and that's where he would synthesize it from.
really?
PD Newman was just on Johnny Enoch, and he's also been on Mike's podcast, Mind Escape, a couple times. Check him out.
Oh, no way.
Wait, what was the dude's name again?
P.D. Newman? I thought he was like an old dead guy. Oh shit, Beck getting
Did you mention PBDB? The Pillsbury Doughboy? Pillsbury Doughboy is a sacred entity. He transcends all time and dimension.
He's a
He's a
Nephilim.
traveler of both time and space.
His only weakness is touching his belly button.
Yeah, you touch his belly button, it's
Dude,
like
I can't
like-
touch my belly button. That's so weird.
Yeah, mine, like, it makes me feel uncomfortable when I touch it.
Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. Like
it's like touching your own birth moment.
Dude,
That's
my,
why-
Yeah, it's weird. It's not like it hurts. It's just weird.
You,
My
that's
belly
why
button
okay,
goes
we gotta change topics. It's weird, man.
your belly button.
Dude,
to
how
put
deep are you
against
going
it.
into your belly button?
Dude, mine goes so
Well, I gotta get
deep,
the lint
I think
out.
you can. It's like I think it's like you'd enter Narnia if you go through there. Like I think you get to the hollow earth if you got to the bottom of my belly button.
I always
Are
thought
you
I
like
had a belly
smelling
button.
your finger
like
after you dig in it?
stressing, you know?
No, that's
I eat it
disgusting,
first,
redhead.
then I smell it.
Put a
After
little
I dig my butt.
dressing in the belly button. Dip your carrot sticks in the belly button with the ranch. Built-in dip dish.
Well, what about the Audis?
They're fucked. They're discluded.
That's for
from the-
rough terrains.
That
Okay.
sounds legit.
I'm kidding. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about right now.
Actually, they lay down and put golf balls on top of it so I can hit it off the tee.
How the hell are you going to hit a golf ball off your own belly button, sir?
No, someone else's belly.
I don't have an Audi. Yeah.
Oh,
If
so
anybody
you're-
has an Audi, holla at me.
You're volunteering
Dude, I
yourself.
have such an any like even when I was pregnant with both my kids, I still had it in me. It never like popped out like a turkey or anything.
Sorry, I just wanted to interrupt like for 1 second. I looked at the title and then I came in here and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, so I'm
Cybersecurity, it's all about the belly button.
It's fucking
I'm wait-
hilarious.
The title is just to get you in.
No, I know, but I was like, oh, this is
yeah.
probably going to
Don't
be
smell your
interesting or
finger
whatever. And
after.
I'm like, I'm happy I came in.
I wanted
So
to
tell us about
start-
your belly button, Priya.
It's wonderful.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. It's pierced. Whatever. It's an innie. I don't really put my
Logan?
fingers in there like unless like I'm in the shower and like I'm just like cleaning myself, But
Nice.
Do you know that Logan's butthole is pierced? It is.
At
He has
least
a
he's
half
not
lip.
talking about your wing.
Well, because it's not an
This is-
Audi, so
Yeah, it's magnificent. When he farts, it sounds like a hummingbird whistling.
oh my god.
it smells like rainbows, right?
I don't know. I doubt it.
Back in
I
the
think
Navy,
it's-
we just called that veal.
Dishwasher box and clown porn and brownie mix, maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
So you didn't smell your finger after you dug around in there, is what you're saying.
Maybe your finger, but not mine.
I didn't dig around in there. I was just going along with the joke. Sorry.
That reminds me peculiarly of the Soundgarden song Spoon Man. Why Spoon Man? You can stab it with a fork. Logan, are you going to take this laying down? Sparkling in the sunlight. All right. Let me just say this. I tried starting my own space, but I am such a workaholic and I'm not around. And you guys, Chase, Logan, Sam, all the other dudes that allow me to, and I'm very thankful for you guys being open, given my verbal abuse to you all at times. I started a space, but you guys beat me to it. I wanted to talk about CE5. because about a month ago we were in somebody, who knows whose space it was, but we were all here. I know Chase was here, Astral was here, Emily, Red, Screen. I know there were a lot of us here there at that moment, which is still this moment, but it was then too. Talking about Dr. David Greer and the CE5 meditation, Is that, I mean, can we go there, or is that not?
I don't even know what CE5s is.
That's for your space, bro.
It's a thing where you get to go to a place and sign a waiver in order to watch Stephen Greer's pecs.
Yeah, don't forget you got to pay $10,000 too.
See, I was kind of keen to that. Like, it kind of seemed like you had to kind of pay to be a part of the whole thing. So let me answer that last question. Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, where you meditate and supposedly you can draw down the alien or their ships and they show up for you. Like
I
a
love
ship.
who the
Like
title
an acid
draws
trip
into
or
here.
something?
I just wanted to say that with my TR3B experience, I was like in a heavy meditation before I went to let my dogs outside, and that's when I saw it. And it was like not their normal time to go out or anything. I just had like a spur, like, hey, I should just go let them out while I'm not really doing much. And so that's interesting that you say that.
Screen, you know what I found? You know they patented the TR3B? In 2006, I found a patent for a black triangle. It looks exactly like the TR3B. It has like the three little like half domes under, on each side, the one in the middle too.
What's the TR3B?
It's
It's
they don't
the
call
thing
it
with the
that.
3 dots.
The
Sure.
triangle? Oh,
It's
is
like
that
the
the one
triangle
that,
shaped craft,
is that
right?
the one Jeremy Corbell is trying to pass off over the Nimitz class battleship or whatever?
That's not.
No,
Jeremy
that
Corbell.
one's a little different.
But it's similar to that, right?
It's the triangle with 3 dots.
It's hard to say because the lights on that one are like totally different, unless it just looks like that because of the camera. But triangle and triangle, yeah.
Well, that had me wondering because, like, we know all FAA-approved military and commercial aircraft have to have some kind of flashing lights on the bottom or the side. And
I'd love to believe that.
That thing had flashing lights, so
It
I don't know
appeared that
what.
way, yeah. It looked like it could have been a plane, but it
What's
had
up, Taylor?
3 fucking lights
What's
on it.
up?
Hey, John's here.
Are y'all talking about the big triangle?
No, the small one.
Bro,
How
have you
dare
watched
you.
that video over the Pentagon of that huge like pyramid? It's like it was like black and it was in the nighttime. And it was like a huge black pyramid over the Pentagon.
That reminds me more of what Jade was just talking about.
Was that like in like 1963 or something like
No,
that?
it was like recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should watch
It was seen
Paranormal
by
Caught
2
on
different
Camera.
places as well.
At nighttime.
I
Early
wish
morning.
And in Russia they saw one too. In multiple different like capitals. Like I'm not sure what was going on.
What? It was multiple capitals. I
Yeah,
thought
like
it was just the Kremlin.
no, like well, I know Russia and America and maybe one more.
You know what's weird? I just thought of when y'all are saying that. It's not like they show up over all capitals, right? Just the ones that have like that same type of architecture from like Tartarian style.
They show up a lot in Washington for some reason. I mean, I know why, but
Okay, why?
It's Mitch McConnell's taxi cab dropping him off at the fucking old folks
Logan,
home.
why do you think?
The rivers. It's all about the water.
The water?
Wait, why? Why?
Yeah, watch. All those spots, they'll be like between 2 rivers or near a body of water, or there's water underneath. There's always like a shitload of water. Oh, come on, bro. You don't never know the importance of between
It's
2
not
rivers,
Washington.
Mesopotamia? Do some research.
I have.
I was
That's
just
what
gonna
I'm
say,
talking
with all due respect, like, you know, there are a significant amount of like countries in this world, and it's not like we do know their technology, so or all of
Okay,
it.
Logan, you're just not an answer. Okay.
But that's what I think. Is that what you're kind of talking about? Maybe it's like from a different country. Like, what intel do we really have? Like, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Are you saying that? Oh, so anyways, I was gonna say, yeah, the reason they were here in Washington, or I don't know why I said here, but in Washington is because they're dropping off Nancy Pelosi's beer. Probably, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
The majestic beer drop.
Hey, Korea, are you like what's your stance on like the whole UFO topic? What do you believe in like is going on?
Well, I think it would be okay. Well, if the universe is never ending, it's absolutely like not plausible that there wouldn't be other life. Like, are we? Of course, aliens are real, or sorry, extraterrestrials or whatever. But to say that every single like phenomena that you see in the like sky is of like an alien origin, it would be probably not true, right? Did that make sense? Sorry, I just smoked a joint.
Yeah, that's the going logic at the moment, but society is famously always wrong.
To a certain degree, yeah. But like I was saying though, like technology is it's not like we're in like the 1930s and you look up in the sky and you see like whatever, like I would believe more so like that every single thing that people seen in the sky before there were planes or whatever, that would be probably of an alien origin. But like I do believe that there are technologies that the greater population just kind of don't know about yet. So some of them might be extraterrestrial and some of them might just be, governments doing stuff.
I think both are true. There's also like Daniel was just here. He wrote a book about writing a book. He's writing a book about the Ariel incident in Texas.
I was going to say, he wrote a book?
He's writing it. I think he's written quite a bit of it because he's done some extensive research into it. Yeah, but it was like the 1890s. Some vehicle crashed into like a wind turbine, and then they ended up burying a body. And now you can't even find that body. It was like taken somewhere. But there used to be a gravestone and a headstone and everything. There's still the headstone there. So yeah, I think that now there's a mix of things it could be. But what's extraterrestrial? We say extraterrestrial. I always say alien because alien to me just means foreign from our current knowledge. So
America.
Yeah, but most of the time people are thinking like beings or typical aliens when that, like you said, it's a more broader term, but most people don't realize. But they also use like LiDAR or ground penetrating radar on that spot too. And there was some elements that were weird to be in that spot by the headstone.
That's really interesting.
Hey, Kriya, have you seen the Ariel School movie or this new one, The Moment of Contact?
I have not.
Oh, it might turn you into a believer.
I'm a believer. Trust me, I am a believer.
Okay.
I'm all into like the paranormal and all of this type of stuff, which is why I actually like came in here. I'm actually from. I don't know if you guys know what the Periscope group is over there. Periscope. Never heard of it.
Oh, right. Ocean knows about that.
Yeah,
I thought you were here for the cybersecurity.
Don't go over there. Just run away from there.
I'm listening and I'm Googling different stuff because I'm trying to learn about things and like I'm hearing your voice and I feel like you were just part of this group. But yeah, no, it's okay sometimes. It's okay when I want to have fun and just like talk shit and like, but I don't know, not always,
Hey, Kriya,
I kind of like
say,
you do paranormal
I fucked up your 666 followers, but I took a screenshot of it.
Oh shit!
Followed you and turned it into 667. But I took
that
a
was me.
screenshot
I
of your
did it into
666 followers.
Oh damn it! You should have told me. I wanted to take a freaking screenshot.
Oh,
I did
can
screenshot
unfollow
it.
you again and put it back to 666 if you want, or I can send
do
you
that
the
for just 1
screenshot.
second. Yeah. That's fucking.
But I'm
That's
officially your
interesting.
667th follower.
Well,
I
thank you
always
very
thought
much.
that if I got to 5,666 followers, I would just stay right there. I would be happy with that.
I just missed my 666 by like 30. Damn it. I think I was like,
You think what, Logan?
you hear about that UFO whistleblower Jay was talking about? I mean, he says it was a UFO program whistleblower recently assassinated. So UFO reverse engineering whistleblower dies 2 weeks before meeting with Chris Mellon.
Well, that's suspicious.
And then
But
the
yeah,
next
government
day,
the government will whack you.
for ETs.
It was run by reptilians, so yeah.
Prove it. Do you have any evidence of that, sir?
Yeah. I'm a reptilian.
That sounds like something a reptilian would say, Jade.
Did y'all hear about that UFO researcher in Britain that literally started like vomiting black something and then died?
Oh yeah.
No.
We know. No. Say it again. What happened, Taylor?
I have no idea. I had it on my like favorite to go look at on the internet, but I totally forgot. I've been so busy.
What are you doing? Looking at a microscope?
No,
Or
I'm fucking grading papers and shit.
I thought you were gonna have that other guy do that.
Yeah, well, I still have to do something. That's only for one of the classes. I have a whole nother class to grade.
Okay. Kimball, get on it, Detective Kimball.
So you know that report comes out in a few days. Have we talked about the report at all?
No,
What's
I'm
to talk about?
What'd you say, John?
I said I'm pumped.
I am pumped as well. I'm curious what you guys think they will actually come out and say.
Probably a little more than the first report, but not enough. It'll probably still be a big part of, we don't know what these are.
Do you think they actually don't know what they are, or do you think they're just saying they don't know what they are?
They're just saying.
I think there is a core group of people that are very compartmentalized that probably have a good understanding of what it is. And then you have everybody else that is just kind of speculating, or maybe if they've talked to these people, they might have an idea. But yeah, that's what I think.
I think they definitely know. Well, some of them. I guess.
But I mean, like, who's they? Like
the ones that hold the power. Probably some of the more people with the money, the corporate power at this point. Probably like people like the Lockheed Martin kind of circles, or I don't know.
Yeah, and I think I agree with that, but I think there's a lot of people in the government that aren't even aware that this group exists outside of like rumors and whispers.
Yeah, need to know.
Hell yeah, you ain't on the bigot list.
Nah, you want to try to get on that? What's his name? Reverse Admiral Wilson? Nah, you ain't getting on it.
Yeah, shit, dude. Checking your name. It ain't on the list. You ain't on the list. You ain't getting in, buddy.
Dude, imagine if you're like the head dude and you can't even get on that list.
Yeah, what if like two really hot chicks walk past him and they're like, all right, go in. And he's like, what the hell?
So I would love that. Oh, it's so good.
Turns out they're shape-shifting reptilians.
Actually, on that topic, I can give you an actual secondhand account. I had a friend who was a TSSCI and was in a facility, and you're supposed to be very careful when you're walking certain hallways not to have the knee-jerk reaction to look up every time you hear a door open, right? Because people do have to leave and exit rooms, right? And so, things can be seen by accident. And my friend was basically walking down the hallway and ended up like looking up right as this guy opened this door and basically saw on the wall, this display, and like saw the display and like reacted to it, and then like made eye contact with the guy, and the guy's eyes got big and my friend's eyes got big, and the guy just kind of then got like this really like exhausted look on his face, and he just like waves his finger, come on in. And my friend had to go in, and to one of the rules that came out a number of years ago is that you can't be asked to sign on to something that you don't really understand. So to be read into something, you actually have to be read into it. They actually have to explain to you what the basics of the program, and then you get read in, you get put on the big. But you can get shoved onto a program by accident through this means because you were somehow exposed to it in a natural way that does make it where you are required to be read in, even though you weren't originally on the bigot list. But just to show you that there are some funny things that can come out of how this stuff plays out.
John, why would they do that though? Like, why wouldn't they just be like, you didn't see anything and shut up? You know what I mean?
Because that doesn't work.
I guess that explains it. Hey, so you want to tell us more of those stories? Like you were telling like some stories on a thread. Remember about the cube thing?
Oh, yeah, Area 51. I mean, I was kind of our Area 51. The blue cube was well, okay, so I can. But let me tell the story from a different perspective. So basically, all growing up, there was this big white square building on the corner of two freeways that you drove by all the time, and it was like this big white square building, but they called it the blue cube, which was weird because it was white, and and so like as a kid you drove by and you're like, okay, that's noticeable, and then I ended up going to school like really close to it, and so a lot of the kids that I went to school with, their parents worked in the blue cube, and so it created some interesting, funny situations because one of the requirements is that you have a phone number, an emergency number for a parent. Well, there were several kids where either a single parent or both parents worked in the cube. Well, there were absolutely no hard lines into the cube at all. There were no physical hard lines into the cube. And so there was absolutely no way to call into the cube. And so basically the school got really upset because they're like, no, if you're going to register a student here, you bloody have to have a contact number, right? So like that, that became like a big issue. You had lots of interesting things happen where, like I mentioned in the thread where, there would be kind of these reach outs. So like at one point, they reached out to some of the teachers just at these local schools and actually invited them to go to the cube. And actually, they actually got into the cube. To kind of give because there is kind of a tour that you can get, and basically, but it's a very serious tour. You're guided, and I guess one of the teachers decided that she really had to pee, and she had just seen a bathroom like a few hallways before, and just as they passed, and so she snuck away from the group to go pee, and there was a loud commotion, and security got them, and they had to come over, and basically they found her like face down in the hallway with like an M16 pointed at her. They had to retrieve her from that position because basically she was found wandering around by herself. You had all sorts of funny stories of like like when year 2000 came around, there was that whole year 2000 bug. I ended up meeting the guy that did all the firmware upgrades on all the Cisco routers inside the blue cube, and just him telling me the stories of like the loops and hoops that he had to jump through to get things done. You can be in situations where one person's sitting at a keyboard and there's another person on the phone, and the person on the phone is telling the person on the keyboard verbally what to do. The person sitting at the keyboard has to verbally say what has been said. It has to match what's been said. Then they enter it into the system that has to match what's been said. I mean, so you can end up with these really like just wackadoodle like situations. And to me, it's just really kind of funny how it all plays out, because I mean, basically what you had is you had this civilian population of of tech people blended in with this intel community, right? And so and please like stop me at any point, because I can go on for a while, but then what was really funny was, then, as you grow up, then you started hearing stories, right? Because the kids whose parents who worked there wanted to brag about what their parents did, because all kids want to brag about what their parents do. And so, so we started hearing little things here and there. And there was this one kid that started becoming pretty reliable. Like, he would tell us something and then it would come true, and he would tell us something and it would come true. And it's like, okay, this guy's actually, this guy's pretty decent. And so we got to the point where we were in I think it was like the third grade. I gotta look that up. I think it was the third grade or fourth grade. And this was the point that the B-2 Spirit, the bomber, was coming out. And basically about 3 weeks before that plane was announced, this kid told us all about it. Like me and probably 2 other kids, and told us all about it. But what he was all excited about never happened. What he was all excited about was, he said this plane actually had in it these microgravity drive type things. They had basically, he claimed that they had this new type of propulsion, this new type of uplift technology that was built into the wings, because the plane couldn't take, like it flew fine, but it couldn't take off or land without assistance. And so, and this technology was going to get announced when the plane was announced. Well, then 3 weeks went by and the plane was announced, and everything else he said about the plane was true, except for this one thing. This one thing never happened, right? Well, now years upon years upon years later, we started learning more and more and more about this plane. And you start learning that this plane had a silent mode, where it could actually apparently turn off its engines and run it almost in a silent mode, almost like an electric mode. And so there's actually been like little tidbits of evidence for some of the crazy stories, like the fact that there's actually a wire that runs along the very front edge of the B-2 that basically ionizes the air right in front of the wing, to essentially reduce the amount of friction and stuff that hits the wings. There's lots of like smart little things that get done, but basically everything else he told us about that plane came true, except for that. And now it's only been in the last 5 years that I've started hearing little things that might end up being tied to what he said. It's also possible that part of what he said just never came true. We were told that we were told that from that building they could fly the B-2 without a pilot. And that, I believe, is now true, but it wasn't true for a long time. We were told that we were most kids told us that we were like the number 4 nuclear target for Russia. I've later found out since then that actually that was not true enough. It looks like we were probably actually number 2. Because essentially, all this time that I'm telling you all these stories, what we think, us personally who live in the area, is that this is NSA. That's what we thought, right? Because it was right next to Moffett Air Force Base, right? It was right next to it. And it almost looked like it was on Moffett land, but it wasn't. It was on those land where all these old buildings were, where they used to assemble nuclear missiles back in the day. And because back in the early days, the only people that bought integrated chips were missile folks. And so essentially, fast forward, it wasn't until like I think it was 91 that they actually outed the NRO, right? Basically, before 1991, I believe that they wouldn't admit the NRO existed at all. So that's why none of us knew that this building was basically the I mean, not it was it was basically called the HQ of NRO. I mean, technically it wasn't, because technically their HQs, they have an office in Washington, obviously, but this was like NRO for from all operations, and so essentially in '91 when it got announced, at the same time it was this really funny thing happened where suddenly they announced, oh look, we're announcing Onizuka Air Force Base. And look, the blue cube is on it. And oh look, the NRO is that was their headquarters, and they've started decommissioning their building there. They're not going to use it anymore. And oh look, it's an Air Force base. And we're like, wait, no, that's Moffett Field. That's Navy. That's a naval base. And they're like, no, this little sliver here on the side, this whole time that's been Air Force. We never told you. Oops, sorry. So then basically the blue cube eventually got destroyed, but basically we only found out it was NRO a little bit before like the whole thing started coming down. Up until then, we all thought it was NSA, because most people didn't even know the NRO existed. And that was carried through to an extreme level. And there's a great story that I believe Andy Jacobson is the one who wrote it down, of essentially Vice President Johnson showing up unannounced at the cube, and the poor I can't imagine what rank this guy was. This poor kid that had to sit at that front desk, and basically he had to sit there, and not only did he have to deny the Vice President of the United States access to what was behind him, but he had to deny it even existed. Like he had to pretend that, like, I have no idea what you're talking about, sir. I'm sorry, sir. There is no facility here. Like, I mean, like, he couldn't admit to anything. Basically, Johnson had to essentially get a hold of Kennedy. My understanding is it took about somewhere between the stories between 45 minutes to 2 hours for basically Kennedy to then call back and basically force them to give him access. So this was definitely a very lockdown facility. And one of the more interesting things about the facility that you could actually see from Google Earth was the incinerators. Basically, kind of built into the building were these massive incinerators that they would just pour documents into all day, all night, and it was just this constant burning of documents was just constantly going on. But it was it definitely definitely made for a pretty interesting place to grow up, and it also explains some things that happened before that we didn't understand. Like, one of the things that a lot of people didn't know is that the SR-71 used to land in Mountain View. The SR-71 would actually land at Moffett, what we thought was Moffett. And I know this because my uncle saw it, because my uncle was working there as an electrician at Moffett Field and basically saw the SR-71 land. And at the time, it was hard to believe him, because it's like, well, why the hell would the SR-71 ever land here? Well, duh. It was probably dropping off, it's something for the NRO. Because essentially that's the reconnaissance organization that would be the most interested in that kind of material. So later on, things starting to make sense and starting to kind of tie together and stitch together. And the other kind of quick story that I told online that I'll just repeat really quick is that there's lots of kind of artifacts of this around the area. So, for example, I almost went to go work for this guy that bought a building right down in this neighborhood, and basically right across because basically right on the other side of 101 from all of what I've been talking about was basically where Fairchild Semiconductor began. Right, so all the Fairchild buildings were on the other side of the freeway, and when Fairchild got started, they started everything, and it was at the beginning of everything. So they would actually grow the silicon crystals in the basement, and then they would take all that sludge, that kind of multicolored, incredibly toxic sludge that you got from growing the crystals, and would just pour it right into the soil. all through that whole area. So that whole area is basically a Superfund site. And essentially, so this guy bought this building like right across the street. And after he buys the building, he discovers that he's got this vault door in the basement. And the guy told him about it, but he didn't open it. He didn't see it. He figured it was just a normal vault. And he opens it, and this vault door is about, it's probably a good 18 inches thick. And this massive door. And then you go in, and the room's not very big. It's maybe maybe 6 by 8, I would say. And the entire room is covered in sound baffling that is at least 12 inches deep. And it was so severe that several of us, if we went in there and closed the door and walked around in there for a little while, we would start getting motion sick, because essentially there was so much sound baffling that our equilibrium would get thrown off. And it took a little while to dig into it, but what he found out later was that essentially this was an integration point. That essentially, when Fairchild was spinning up ASICs for the government, they would actually spin up, they would actually do an actual production, and the guys would actually go across the street to Fairchild, get the chips fresh out of the oven, right, and all nice and gooey with milk, and run them across the street and take them into this room and actually install them in components for all sorts of things, even satellites and so forth. And so that's why the room had to be so secured and locked down. But there's lots of little things about that around that area that last little story. So a little area, a little lot right near where I'm talking about, got sold just a number of years ago. And after they sold it, only at night for about 3 weeks, crews came in and removed all the dirt going down 4 stories. Like 4 stories down. I was in a building across the street, but that's why I got to see it. And they basically took all that, and they basically brought in all new dirt. And they did this basically before they changed hands of the property. And so it's our understanding that lot was actually one of the Fairchild lots, and that's why they had to do that, because of all that porridge that Fairchild was pouring into the soil. So anyway, I think I'll stop now.
That is unbelievable. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, how far away from this phenomenon were you when it was happening?
Well, I mean, basically the building was about 8 miles from the school. And so I lived about 9 miles from the building. But I mean, there was a lot of crazy stuff that went on, because the Americans didn't know about the NRO. The Russians sure did. And the Russians knew very well that this was the headquarters of the NRO, right? And so they would send. It was crazy. I mean, basically, there was a hotel across the street from the Cube that would fill up with Russian agents, because the hotel had windows facing it, and they would put listening devices and try to actually listen in on things. It was ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
I'm fucking mind blown right now.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm sorry for breaking protocol and jumping in off my mic, but I had to ask John about that, because that is one of the most phenomenal things I've ever heard. And it's actual evidence. I mean, it sounds like actual evidence to me. I mean, on a profound nature and in a broad sense, but I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
No, man, it's all good. It's all good. No, your feedback's welcome. And the thing is that this is not as unique as people think. That there are facilities like this all over the United States, and the communities where these facilities exist actually take care of them, and they protect them, and there's some trust there, and so and there's also a lot of it's happened in weird ways that now you get little documentaries that will come out just on local TV stations, talking about how some reporter just found out that Russian agents used to frequent all the bars around the area around Fairchild, because if they could basically get a Fairchild engineer into bed, there was a good chance that Fairchild engineer could eventually get them access to someone in the NRO. And so they would basically, play on these poor like single engineers that like, couldn't get a date, and like this beautiful woman would start paying attention to them, and it's like, yeah, talk about easy pickings, right? So. Sorry, I'll stop.
Why?
Hang on. Listen.
I want to hear more stories.
Yeah, same.
Hang on. Here it comes. Listening to Logan on late UFO Twitter. 8 Mile? Hell no. Logan's dick is 12 miles long. Motherfucker. If you thought it was shorter, to the wrong space. Logan, pay something, get something. We all love it. I feel like that was kind of a fail in a way. Sam was pretty dope. So did anybody come up with an answer to my question like 2 hours ago about the rods? What the fuck are rods? I know.
Wait, are you talking about like the head
That's
rods?
what make toroids.
Hang on. Whoa, don't step on each other.
Up, dude. No, what are you asking about? What's the context of the rods?
Because I know some head rods, but I don't know about other rods.
No, they move quicker than the eyeball can process.
What, like rods in your eyes? Like
No, they're supposed to be these like weird UFO-like objects or things that fly past. Like they're like remote control airplane size. Like they're not very big, but they move so quick that you're supposed. Yeah, they're called rods.
Yeah, they're just bugs. They just look like rods because the camera makes it look like that.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I wanted to ask a really stupid and mundane question. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
No, but you know what? But those are easy to get fooled of. I have a set of pictures this one guy gave me, and I have to be honest. Like, I understand why he thinks it. Like, he really thinks he's taking pictures of fairies, and the problem is that a lot of the pictures, for some crazy reason, just the way the light projects, some of them really look like fairies. The rest of it doesn't. The rest of it just looks like light. But it's like, but you can understand why people believe that. There's a lot of reason there to believe it if you want to.
I know a fairy when I see one.
Do y'all believe in like parallel universes?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wait, university?
Absolutely.
Universities, not universes. Well, universities, I guess, but I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So like, I don't know. I think if there's an infinite amount of like parallel universes, then anything is actually possible, right? So maybe there are fairies. Maybe like in a parallel universe, you're a fairy.
Yeah, as long as
maybe he's a fairy.
mathematics
Maybe
fuck it.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that I believe or don't believe in fairies, or that fairies do or do not exist. I was just more talking about the fact that like when a photo is very easy to misinterpret when it comes to the way small light, small light objects.
Yeah, no,
real quick, I shared a fairy video. It's from my own camera. It's in the comments. And then the rods, Jade, that's like toroidal movement. That's how everything in nature moves. So the bugs are actually following sound waves. You can see this one video of a dude in a John boat, and he's filming the bugs jumping out the water around his motor while it's running full speed, and they're actually doing like infinity symbols or figure eights.
Kidding? Is it on YouTube or something? Screen.
Yeah, somewhere out there.
Oh. Okay, I'll find it, dude.
Yeah, YouTube. It'll probably be on YouTube. You do the rods, guy in boat or whatever, you know.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for the advice. On next, our fearless leader Logan will tell us who is up at bat. I believe it is Emily Ocean. What's up, Emily? No.
It doesn't even say that anymore. Was my hand up? It used to be. I had a question for Taylor, but she's gone.
Maybe I can answer it. Who knows?
What does ethylglycol or whatever the fuck?
I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest.
It's okay.
I'm not a chemist. I'm more of a geometry kind of guy.
I'm a chemist in the kitchen.
I'm a chemist in the kitchen too, dog. Trust. I can fuck up some kick-ass meals.
Hey, I'm a chemist in the RV.
Say less.
Hell, I just sold my RV, so I can't say that. I suck.
I'm not much of a
Jade,
cook,
if anyone
but
here,
I
you do live in New Mexico, much like a Breaking Bad character.
I have a seller's regret. I'm moving to Los Alamos in 2 days, though. I got a new job. I got my new apartment today. It was, it's going to be $1,600 a month for a 1-bedroom, but it has a fireplace. All utilities included.
Is it all 1 bedroom with a fireplace? Like a studio?
It's not a studio. It actually has a real bedroom. But the heater is a joke. It's like pre-World War II shit with the hot pipes. Like, they're still using the Manhattan Project civilian apartment buildings. Like, I'm living in them.
Yes. So wait, where if you don't mind me asking, where did you get a job?
I can't say.
Okay, that's why I'm asking, because I've been there, and I was, when you said you moved there, I was thinking to myself, well, why the hell? Wait, but there's no job. Wait, but there's no. Wait,
calm down,
like,
bro.
Why the
Let
hell
me
would
ask
anyone
you.
learn?
I'm going to ask you a question.
Let me know.
Take a breath. I love you. Take a breath. Are you in Los Alamos right now? I kind of get a vibe like you are.
Oh, me personally, no. I was just I used to go there because
I was gonna
I would
say.
give talks there, and basically the last time I was there, I was giving a talk. It was when my wife went into labor, and basically I had to basically like flee out of Los Alamos, rush to Albuquerque, get on a plane, fly back to California. It was crazy. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I bless you with my love, bro.
Lovely place.
You sound like daddy. Anyway, yeah, that kind of got stirred left. I forgot my point.
Wait, but no, but why aren't you living in Santa Fe?
I actually do live in Santa Fe.
Okay, good. Santa Fe is amazing. Santa Fe is like one of the most beautiful places on earth. Santa Fe is insane. Like Santa Fe, that whole area looks like it was painted with a different palette of color. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, there's a lot of red dirt in like the northern New Mexico mountains. It's like red clay dirt. Like if you bake it, they make pottery out of it, as you know.
Yeah, the Pueblos.
Yeah, the Pueblo nations that were put along the Rio Grande over time, like they have some beautiful pottery, and yeah, a lot of it is very like a clay red because that's the color of the earth that they baked. It's really beautiful. It really is. And it's very very simple and very earthbound, very kind and very I noticed, like, a friend of mine that I work with, he's Navajo, and he's like, he said he considers himself like a mild, moderate traditional Navajo, as he put it. And we work and film together. And anyway, his name is Nathan D. And he is like the most quiet, like gentle soul you'll ever meet. And he said, what if we just decide that we decide? And I was like, what is this guy talking about? You know, like, what if we just decide that we decide? So anyway, I want to leave it at that. And yeah, I'll be here.
Who owns the world? Like, really? I got a mortgage.
Beyonce.
We got the Rockefellers. We have the Winchesters. The Bushes, definitely. They have the intelligence corridor. As we know, GW's daddy, Bush Sr., was the head of the CIA
Koch
for
brothers.
Well, also different countries have different rules as far as like
Skull and Bones bullshit.
houses and stuff, right? Like in the U.S., we don't have air rights, right? Like
Yep.
no one has to get our permission to fly over us. But like there's, I believe France. I believe there's a couple countries where you
Germany.
actually have air rights, which is awesome.
Sweden, Spain, yeah. Air rights are a bad deal.
Great way to piss off an airline.
A great way, you know what? If you have like let's say you just bought like a $5,000 drone, like a hobby drone that's like really cool, and you can put like cameras on it and start filming cool movies and whatnot. And then you crash it into a car by accident, you're liable for that. Where's the liability in the more aggressive use of like hobby drones nowadays? Like,
there's FAA regulations and stuff.
Yeah,
my ex-husband flew drones. There's regulations there.
That's definitely true right there. Like, words of wisdom. Thank you, Red. At the same time, everybody's always complaining about somebody going, hey, check it out. I have a new video of a UFO on my phone. And it's, again, the shakiest bullshit.
The most humiliating thing that happened to me is they put a cylindrical sort of thing over my genitals, and it made me have an orgasm in a second. And I really feel like I'm one of those few men who knows what a woman feels like when she's raped.
Well, you know, there's like electrical probes that can put up a guy's ass even after they die and manipulating force ejaculation.
Give seed.
We just heard the famous speech from Logan's testicles to his dog's peanut butter collection. That was a good speech, I must say.
Dude, you and Logan's private areas.
Logan's sperm, then it must be important.
Well, they need
Never
that
doubt,
vampire
you know,
DNA.
The aliens have some interest in that sperm there.
I'm going to change my profile pic tonight, and I will be wearing my vampire teeth.
Hey,
from set.
Are you guys familiar with is it Michael Hall? No, it's not Michael Hall. There's a guy who's an anthropologist that
Anthony Hall.
No. It's an author, and basically he's put forward
Michael
this interesting hypothesis that essentially the reason why they're so interested in their DNA is because we've essentially become DNA saturated at some point in the future. And they basically
what do you mean by saturated? I just need to know. I think a lot of us. What do you mean by
let's say you had a contained group of wolves, right? And that group just continued to procreate for a period of time. You would get to a point without introducing any new DNA to the system where you would become saturated, where basically you couldn't breed anymore without causing challenges.
But
And
how would
so,
that transgress to like the human hominid situation?
well, because
We only have
essentially
about 70
the way
years
we
left.
fix that is you go out and you grab a wolf from another place and you grab their DNA and you basically inject it into the pool, right? And so essentially his hypothesis is that what all these abductions are about is essentially us from the future coming back and grabbing specific DNA from specific lines that didn't survive to there, right? So it didn't make it into that pool, so they can be reintroduced as new DNA, and that's the entire pull behind all of it.
It's possible.
Interesting.
It's a great idea.
I have another
I think
idea.
it's just an interesting hypothesis.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Have you guys ever? Well, I'm sure you probably heard of the Rh negative, like blood type or whatever.
Yes, RH, RHN. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe it's I don't know.
That
What's
one's super weird because like there's definitely a pattern of people who are Rh negative and seem to have some kind of interaction issue, but the problem is that there's also a lot of people who are Rh negative that don't have anything at all, and there's a ton of people who are more common things like O positive that have been having experiences their entire life. So it's an interesting possible way to categorize, but it's not absolute because there's a bunch of exceptions to the rule.
Well, and you can look at it this way. So when you look at the little table, right? AB positive is the universal receiver, so they can take blood from absolutely anybody. So good to go. O negative is the universal giver. So literally everybody could take their blood, but they can only have O negative blood. So that's kind of like hot commodities type of thing. I found a study. So the difference between the two is positive means that there's like a difference in the cell wall around like blood cells, and so this difference kind of makes it a little bit harder to detect certain like viruses, or they might actually have like an immune disorder because you think that you're attacking viruses yourself. Anyways, I found a study. I took a bunch of screenshots. It's probably on my page somewhere. But they did this study, and 97% of people in their study that like had really bad sickness or died from COVID, it was 97% were Rh positive.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah, my dad's Rh negative, and I'm A negative, but yeah, it's just I've seen a lot of different studies on that, and it's just kind of really interesting because they can't really like find like the how do I say it? Sorry, I just smoked another joint. Never mind.
You're in the right place.
Thanks.
I got a theory, and it's called Daniel has his hand up. I'm gonna believe it. It's true.
Daniel?
Yeah, we can go and debunk that theory. It's Balderdash. Yeah, Michael P. Masters. That's John. That's who you were thinking of. I just
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I said that earlier.
Daniel, what bone were you digging up out of the ground? Was that a human bone or a dinosaur bone?
Fortunately, neither. I think that would probably get me some legal altercations, but I found out that it was equine, so it's a horse bone, old horse.
Ooh, Gravity, you know what? I haven't heard you talk in a minute, and I want to know how your chicken pesto went.
The chicken pesto went okay. There was a dairy situation in that particular pesto sauce that didn't agree with my wife. So we had to put the last episode of season 5 Cobra Kai on pause, and she came back and we finished up. That was pretty awesome season closer, by the way. And chicken was great. Thanks for asking.
So season 5 is like the very last one so far?
Yeah, but I can tell that they're going to be the writing is really good and the twists are excellent, and this was definitely pretty intense and emotionally gripping. Actually, they're getting a
Who would have
good
thought?
role going, man.
I mean, who would have thought, right? Like, I didn't see that series turning out so good, but I didn't see the last season.
It's
Or he's
worth
like,
get on it, man. It's a good one. They were foreshadowing some stuff that they might be utilizing and possibly if they ever decide to, cut it off when it's the right time to cut it off. They're foreshadowing some. Let's just say that they're foreshadowing some technology they might use to bring back a really loved character somehow. I can see it happening. I feel it's going to happen.
technology? What?
Yeah. Well, let's put it to you this way. I don't want to give away if no one's ever seen it and they want to see it. I don't want to give a spoiler away,
Maybe just a specific spoiler about the technology, because that's like, what are you talking about? They're gonna bring someone back from the dead? How's that gonna happen?
Just that's all I'm going to say. As I said, I might ruin it for somebody who's going to put it together quicker, like not, what I mean? Like they're going to go, oh, but yeah.
You could clone your dog for like, I don't know, 20 grand.
Okay, you spoiled it now.
See? Or does anybody really care? And I can just say that.
I see no objections.
All right. There was a scene where Johnny is sitting there, except it's Johnny from the movie, but he's sitting in a current situation talking to somebody. They face replaced him. And it looked really good. So, and it was used just for a split second, just for this one little moment. But, what was that movie with Robert De Niro where they did that with him?
Bad Grandpa?
No, that mafia movie.
Casino?
No, recent one.
What's about?
It was a Scorsese film where they brought him and Pesci back together.
Not the town.
The Italian, something like that. What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did that with Johnny's character, but they used his young face from the movie in a current scene. And I thought, you know what? I have a feeling that they're going to reach in. If the writing is right and they do it right, they might actually reprise somebody sort of like, remember in Star Wars when they brought Yoda into just totally kicking ass in that one scene and the whole movie theater lights up? Okay. The audience, lights up in the movie theater like, oh my God, I just watched Yoda kick everyone's ass right now. And the whole theater erupted. Just one little moment.
Yeah, from a puppet to CGI.
Yeah, I could see them writing it in as far as like somehow bringing Miyagi back and finding somebody that has his body shape and everything like that, but use face replace.
Look what they did in Star Wars, Mandalorian with young Luke.
That's right. I think they're going to do it for Miyagi at some point. It seems realistic.
I like that.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Everything was on point, but the mouth a little bit, Other than that, I could watch that in a movie,
Yeah. Did you see the way they recreated it for that that guy that did it online that did it better?
They hired him.
That was him. They actually signed him up to do their stuff.
Hilarious.
Wow.
Hey, so you watched that screen. You saw the Cobra Kai thing.
No, not Cobra Kai.
Anyways, let's get off that. What's up, Mike Black? Or I mean, Mike Blanket.
Hi, Logan. How are you?
How's Bubbles going?
I'm pretty good, KYT. How you doing this evening? Bubbles is here. Bubbles, come here. Say hi to Logan.
Yes. Please, thank you. Hey, Bubbles, how are you? Good to hear from you, buddy.
Whoa. What the fuck was that? Bubbles is the monkey, right?
Bubbles likes a nice warm blanket.
Yeah.
And Blanket's your son?
Yes, Blanket is he's my son.
So the monkey likes your son?
Ow! Jump!
This is good.
And
So, Michael,
yeah, Logan.
I'm sorry. I'm just struggling to breathe.
You got something down your throat?
Pull through, Logan.
I'm so fucking confused.
I don't know what's
Logan, I
going
was
on right
checking
now.
out
What's
that
going
Matthew.
on?
I think he's choking.
Gravity. What's up, Gravity?
I was just wondering if we could get back to talking about NASA pretending like they've just jumped on board and look what we just discovered. Oh, there might
Right?
be some, yeah, it's a middle ground disclosure type of a situation for the lowest common denominator. And they know exactly what they're doing.
And they're not even using classified data or old data. Like, they haven't been seeing stuff for years. Like,
Yeah, as if. And we've been seeing their broadcasts for years on YouTube. So come with it. Has anybody ever seen the video of the space station documenting like these from right to left they move, and it's like a fleet of these objects just cruising by behind the you can see them like being cut off from the space station, you know, like they're cruising from right to left and they go behind it and then they're over there on the left and they go off the screen. And then it cuts back to the control room, you know, where they're like, whoops, you see that? Hi there, ladies and gentlemen, we're just eating a sandwich here. Nothing to see. Anyway, has anybody seen that video?
I haven't seen that one, but my favorite one specifically was the one where it looks like something is shot from Earth, and this object then makes a quick turn and goes back another way and misses the object.
That's the best video.
Yeah, well, there's a video, and some of these things are really hard to dig up. You have to really search for them now. But yeah, you see the space station, and then these objects, 2 or 3, kind of just start cruising from right to left. They get obscured by the station, and then they crawl out from the left of it, and they go right off the screen. And then about like 5 or 6 more just cruising through. I mean, I don't understand why nobody talks about this, but it's
well, there used to be live feeds from ISS that anyone could go into. I mean, the video would like cut out sometimes and stuff, and
they still have them
occasionally, or things would just like stop. But nowadays, you know, I can't find those live feeds from the ISS.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about the tether incident stuff. I mean, why is anybody holding their you-know-whats to the flame on this? And hopefully they do at some point.
You can still download an app that has all the live ISS feeds. They still do it.
Hey, you're going to have to send me the name of that app, or just tell me right now.
Yeah, the app is called...
It's called the ISS Live Feed? Cool. Daniel,
ISS Live Now.
Damn, I was close.
Yeah, about 10 or 11 years ago, I met Leroy Chow, who at one point was the commander aboard the ISS, and he actually came forward with a UFO sighting he had, which later I think he tried to downplay a little bit, but you know, he's one of the astronauts who actually has come forward and shared about an experience he had aboard the ISS, which he described seeing a series of lights, like not just one object, but maybe 3 or more in a line. And this got some media traction. And with all the recent happenings regarding UAP, he actually has been asked again in recent years to, like, you know, do an interview and things like that here and there. But I posted that Huffington Post article there in the thread. But his name is Leroy Chow, and he was commander on the ISS.
Thanks, man.
Real quick, Logan, I was looking at that patent you put in there from 2006. It's actually, they submitted it in 2004. You know, it wasn't approved till 2006. So who knows how far back that goes, you know?
It's not even valid anymore. They are meant to, like, you know, update it or whatever, and they never did. So it kind of expired.
Even though I do find it strange, like the lacking of schematics on it.
That's not the full thing, right? It's not just that. I can go ahead and send you the full thing if you want.
Oh, cool. Yeah, do that, please.
What I really need to do is go and use my YouTube downloader and just start scanning YouTube for all of these clips that I remember and get them while they're still up there.
Hey, Gravity, if you can do that, I know the email you can send them to, because there's, and I'll post that email too, because there's a specific email they want you to send it to. I think I have it written down here. Hold on.
Yeah, I want to compare the two, the one from 2006 and then the Salvatore Pais ones.
Yeah, I want to find those videos. And honestly, I don't even know where to begin looking, but I know where to send them, at least. I'll post that email up top. So if we can get people to start emailing those videos and just overload people, or overload this guy with like, hey, these are old videos, like, why aren't you using those?
Yes.
I think you're more likely to get a response.
Absolutely, because they're up there. Now, I know that some people might say that, oh, that's not right to do or whatever, but I know that some of those videos are on a page called of Sound, Mind, and Body. And another one, Secure Team has a few things. And the problem with the Sound, Mind, and Body is that he will make his videos and he'll go in, he'll zoom in too much, and it will start to brick out in compression. And I hate that because it starts to look horrible. But he's got a lot of it. There was one other one that I find curious. Maybe some of you have seen it, where they show the International Space Station, and what there seems to be some sort of a weird, whatever you want to call it, ship that looks kind of like a yellow fishing lure or something that's attached to the.
Yeah, I know that one. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's like docking or something really weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, it was an energy test, if I remember properly, right? The tether. It looks like a tether.
Well, that's not the tether incident. That's the tether incident is the one, right, where it broke off, and it you see the swarm of circular craft, kind of like swarming this tether.
Yeah, that also needs to be sent to NASA. But no, this thing actually looked like a Rapala, like a yellow, like Rapala fishing lure. It was a bizarre looking shaped thing that's just attached to the station.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's really weird looking. Looks like almost like a jellyfish.
Yeah.
When was it?
Oh, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I compared to the tether incident, it wasn't that long ago. But I'll find it. It's on. If everyone wants to go and look, there's a page on YouTube called of Sound, Mind, and Body.
I'm on it right now looking for it. I don't see it.
There's so many videos. You're going to be like, we're all going to need to kind of just keep fishing and pulling the videos off and emailing them. But it's there. It's in one of his videos. It may not be in the thumbnail, but
I see a yellow like thing in the thumbnail of the first one. It says like was a massive UFO observed in orbit around Earth or blah blah blah. And it's yellow, but that's like the very very first video. It's like that can't be it, is it?
I don't know. I'm not looking at it right now, but I would like to get the email address. Yes, Chase.
So I posted it. Check up top. I just posted the straight up email address, so that way it's easy to click.
Pardon my ignorance, but I'm kind of new to this. So where do I click to get where you're referring to?
So if you're not on the 12 mile kind of page right there, you got to click at the bottom. You'll see a little banner down at the bottom there. You click on that, then you scroll all the way up to the top where you see all of our lovely faces, and then you keep scrolling, and you should see one I posted up. It tweeted like 12 seconds ago. So
all right.
And if you need help, I can help you again. Don't worry.
All right, thank you. Yeah, there are a lot of a lot of questions that should be answered, because I find it fascinating that they're not even going for classified stuff. I also find it. I mean, they were talking about on George Norrie, master of the idiot point question. Anyway, or could they be demons? Anyway, yeah, I'll find that email. All right.
And I can send it to you directly too, if that makes it easier.
Actually, yes, it would, for right now anyway. And then I'll figure out how to use this gosh darn technology. Yeah.
Hey guys, I sorry to interrupt. I gotta take off. Thank you so much for having me up. And I know I'm new, but I'll be back.
Good to have you. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by.
For sure.
I'll be back.
See you later.
Bye, beautiful.
See ya.
Okay, so does anybody remember from the 90s? It was like SETI at home, because all these people had home computers, and you could sign up for this SETI at home, and you could use your computer, or your computer can process all these SETI files and everything, and transmit back. And it was like cloud computing before cloud was a thing. And joining in all these individual persons' computers just to process all the data coming from SETI.
It's still an active program,
Oh
if
yeah,
you believe it, and
I just
they're
remember
not
doing
really.
it in the 90s.
No, me too. Yeah, it's still going on. I mean, I just feel like, does everyone really think that like NASA and is put together this team, that they're going to actually like be transparent? You think it's even really
No,
happening?
it's a blue book project type 2,
Yeah, right.
It's a need to know basis.
Get ready for the Condon report to follow.
I think it's just buying time, personally. I think it's just they're like, all these people want disclosure, and they're just basically filling it up with some bullshit. It's not even it's probably a laughing stock. What was the budget they gave the whole thing? It was like
100,000.
ridiculously small compared.
9 months.
Yeah.
I'm curious that if in the event this was all supposed to be classified, there would be no reason to unveil it to the public in all of this manner that they have. So what a convenient opportunity it would be in the event that they did come forward and say, oh yeah, we've made a determination and we've got some surprising news to tell the world. Now they have a platform to do that.
It seems to me that this is actually a layout plan, and this is all very low form preconditioning, and that there actually is a situation developing that they're not talking about. And it might be, my hypothesis, or one of them, is that there actually could be something really going on here that is proliferating, and they're having to go, well, we need to lay out some kind of groundwork in order to make the information that we're eventually going to have to tell the general public anyway a little less threatening to their psyche.
I think it's like, I think it's a form of plausible deniability in a sense, because I know what's going on right now. I mean, it definitely is. It's I've seen some shit, man. I think for the general masses of people, the general public, they needed to kind of create this public facing, do a good service team of investigators, because the question is, what are they going to do? Even if NASA's team were to come out in 6 months and say, well, this is what we've got, and we're going to make an announcement, what are they going to do about, how are they going to cover their tracks from all the lies that have been told for the past 50 years?
I think they have a team of people that are trying to generate the best way around that as we speak. I don't know. Could be.
Well,
anyway,
and
right?
how is the public going to accept how it's disclosed and what source? And everybody's, doubting sources all over the place. So, or it's like suddenly, mainstream media all going to have the exact same message and express the exact same narrative at the same time, so that everybody has to believe it, Or are they going to doubt it because, oh, it's the media telling me so? Like, how do you even deliver that in a way that everybody could possibly accept and trust the source it's coming from?
Good point.
I feel like the masters of the simulation are like up there somewhere, outside the Earth realm, like pulling all these like strings and basically creating all these different stories, side stories at the same time. That's why it seems everything's just so out of whack. It's
Of course.
like,
Of course.
it just
They're
doesn't
messing
make
with
any
us.
sense whatsoever.
I've had this conversation with many people that I just really feel deep down that it is no coincidence that all of these heavy items are all happening at the same time, not just this disclosure situation, but the sociological pressure, the racial tension, the war situation, the climate situation, the advanced technology situation, all of the ridiculous idiocracy of it all situation. And then on top of that, the disclosure thing and the proliferation of the phenomena and all and it on and on and on. And it nearly is creating like its own element because of it. Everything's
And war.
progressing. Yeah, and war. And it's like I don't think it's a coincidence that this is happening now at this moment. Yeah.
So I got something wild. I was
I bet you do.
I downloaded a frequency what's it called now? Spectrum. It's a frequency app. It picks up frequencies in your house, right? So I learned something. So I was looking, and people have we use I believe we use traction current because we use our voice box to vibrate to make sound. So we use very, very little hertz, right? Like we were very low on the scale. So I think I posted a picture above. I'm not sure I did, but it's very low. And then we have we go up, and then we have our computers, our microwaves, cell phones, radar, blah blah blah. It goes up. Then there's light. Then there's shit that'll kill you. So and magnetism is 0. So anyways, just saying that. My thing here, it said that they read it in different ways, right? So I'm just reading through, and they read it in one way where they use surrounding noise, and to just kind of sum it up, they use it in a way where they can read whether it's caused mechanically, like by something vibrating, or if it's like a wave in a sense, like it came from a radio. Like they can tell the difference in the wave, in how the sound was made. So say if we're standing in a room and I'm speaking to you, my way of doing that is with my voice box, so it produces a lower wave. And even if I had a radio in me and I spoke, it would be at a higher frequency, even though it would sound the same, I believe, because of its method of delivery.
I mean, if you have an app that can do that cool stuff, think about all the other functions
Well, here's another example.
that
My
can be
phone's not
monitored.
vibrating. My phone is not vibrating like a voice box would, yet you're making the same sounds that you would.
Because we're holding portable not everything's out in the open. There's no more secrets anymore. Your phone's vibrating, you just can't feel it.
You want to go ahead and give us some cybersecurity tips?
Sure. So yeah, give a little a quick overview. So the internet, is it's pretty fantastic. I'm a big fan. And where does the internet come from? So, the internet goes all the way back to the 1960s, believe it or not. And back in about 1969, that was the beginning of the first packet switching network, which eventually became the internet and then the World Wide Web, and it was called ARPANET. And ARPANET was created by, of course, part of basically DARPA, the U.S. Advanced Research Projects Agency Network. So you started off with ARPANET, and then Milnet, and then it basically.
Hey, sorry to interrupt you real quick. I just to say, I posted a picture of the drawing of the first 4-node network from '69 in the chat. So just want to let you people know.
Yeah. So when for example, I'll give you a rundown of just how important it is to have security and learn about device security and stuff. And it's not a matter of not to get paranoid or anything, but you have to think about things like the whole UFO thing, the whole UFO disclosure thing. I mean, I was really hesitant just to jump on these Twitter Spaces a few months ago to begin with, just because it's such a non-secure platform, and the topic, it's the topic. That's one thing about the whole UFO disclosure thing that I have to remind myself is we haven't really been told the truth ever about UFOs. So what's to think that the whole thing that's happening online with the disclosure and Twitter and stuff, I mean, it's definitely being monitored, right? And it's not that we're doing anything wrong, but it's definitely being monitored, and people share documents, and they do it over non-secure methods, or they do it through the 13 eyes, and do it on like Google and Google Drive and stuff like that. I mean, you have to remember that anything you post on Google Drive or online in general is pretty much open for viewing. And on a government level, it's as easy as pressing a button, right? So that's going into it. We all when I go on Twitter and stuff, I have that understanding in my mind that okay, this is all easily monitored. And after I used to be really, really strict on security and stuff, and then I finally got to the point where it's like, okay, man, like it's so stressful. But I want to talk about device security, which is so super important. Mobile devices and internet are very extremely vulnerable, right? So how many people out there on this space are actually using any type of VPN or proxy or anything to protect their device, right? Probably not many. And so I'll give you a couple examples, like about just how vulnerable privacy is in the modern age. So there's something called the SS7 network, and SS7 was developed a long time ago, basically as a packet switching network for mobile devices, and basically transferring data packets and voice, and what created basically the modern cellular phone. But there were some vulnerabilities in the SS7 network, and the funny thing is these vulnerabilities were never actually fixed. They were never patched up. And it is still in use to this day, this network. So basically, there's there's a device called an IMSI catcher, which is basically, it's like real deal James Bond stuff. Any kid with $50 and a laptop computer can, sit down the street and listen to anybody's phone calls. It really is that simple. So, some tips. I mean, I could go deeper into the whole stuff, but I don't want anybody to get paranoid. But I'd like, if anybody wants, I can give you guys like good tips to, being secure. I mean, I can get really deep with this stuff, but it's there's really no reason for fear. It's not to create fear, but it's to basically, tell you what really happens, around it. So, I mean, DARPA, of course, you've heard of DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Project. Is the upper level of the internet. When you get a domain name, you have what's called like a reverse DNS address, which is your IP address reversed. The numbers are reversed, and then it's ARPA. So basically, everything floats up, kind of like if you were to look at a hierarchy scale. Up at the top of this scale, you've got ARPA. So the top level of the internet is still under the umbrella of the government, and then it goes down and it goes through DNS providers, which domain name servers. So depending on like if you have Spectrum or Google or Comcast, they'll have individual DNS servers, and then it's a layered network. So all around the world, you've got these different basically content delivery services that comprise these layers of the internet. Cloudflare, layer 7, and so then it gets down to the root and basically goes to your device. So when you go to a website and you enter, yahoo.com or something, it basically goes through a series of hops before it gets to the website. And on your screen of your phone, you have to go quickly to have fast internet. It's instantaneous, but it's still going through the process to get to that website. I'll bet it's very quickly. So along that route, there's different security vulnerabilities, and most people wouldn't even think about that, right? We don't really think of that. We think we want to believe that as civilization and human beings that everything is safe and nobody's out to monitor. But the truth of the matter is that we do live in a very advanced kind of surveillance state. One of the misunderstandings about chemtrails, and they have multiple purposes, but chemtrails, one of the purposes is employed by the NSA. It's basically they use aluminum particulate that is spread out via aerosol into the air. And what they do is they create, with these aluminum particles, they create basically a blanket that a wireless signal can bounce off of, and they're able to basically capture all the communications of almost every device throughout the United States by basically bouncing the signal off of these aluminum particulates, and it basically goes up to a satellite. It's crazy, crazy stuff. So what can you do to secure, some tips, just basic, real like simple stuff that everyone should follow. Just to protect your own privacy, your own security would be, kind of common sense stuff, but people do it all the time. Don't put any personally identifiable information on social media profiles. If you're on Facebook and any other social medias and you're sharing, photos, or even if your profile's like private or whatever, and family, friends, connections, all that stuff, I'm telling you, it's a personal choice, but there's a reason why, all the big ones point back to Stanford. Okay. It's not really an accident there.
Man, if we take a pause for a minute, you got a hand up. What's up, Gravity?
Logan, I was wondering if I happened to send that screen capture the right way for everyone else to look at it.
Say that again. Is that what?
I was wondering if I sent that screen capture over in a way that I'm supposed to, so everyone else can look at it within the same thread on the Twitter.
You mean that thing in the corner?
I'm sorry?
That thing in the corner, is that where you posted it? Oh, you I see
no.
it. Yeah, I see it.
Okay, so I did that right? Okay. Right on. Yeah. That was there. That's it. That's in the video there. You can see what video it is on Sound Mind and Body. But that's a really good place to find videos. Is that guy's page? But yeah.
I'm gonna send you a message, by the way.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Sorry, I must have just missed something because I was watching something else. I apologize. Did I miss something?
No.
Cool.
So yeah.
No, so I made a tweet though. So hopefully more people give us some NASA videos to send.
To that Daniel guy from NASA. I don't know if that's like kind of pointless, you know what I mean? Because even if the off chance those guys aren't aware of those things, making them aware of those things isn't going to make them be transparent. Ocean, or actually, where did David go? Did David take off?
I actually think it would help. It's better to do it than to not do it at all. And I think it would help to let them know that we know.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you.
Because if everybody just thought that way, nothing's going to get done. The only reason anything's getting done is because of public, outreach and people who are speaking up. Because if we don't, and other people don't, nothing's going to happen, and they're going to do the coverall like they've always done. So, yeah, we should all send as much as we can.
What I want to do is I'm going to find a guy that's in charge of like the part where he's like, we're not going to show any more UFO videos anymore. Like that guy, the guy who made that decision at the Pentagon was like, we're not doing it anymore. I want to know the name of that guy. That way I know who to harass. That's what we need to find out. Put pressure on that.
Yeah, people like him are no good. And I honestly, I don't know. It's hard. I try to contain my profanity because if I'm I don't want to get in the habit of being profane when I'm being interviewed. When I'm being interviewed and whatnot like that, I try to. But at the same time, right now, I'm actually like really pissed. I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. It is. It's bullshit. And by the way, I wanted to slit my wrists and fucking just absolute disgust in how that idiot couldn't even, pause a fucking laptop computer at that hearing on in a moment. And this is what we're going to have to work with. Are you fucking kidding me? Anyway, I'm out.
Just let it out.
Well, there's a lot in there. So I don't want to subject all you to that.
Oh, you can let it out. That's what we're here for. John, you had your hand up before Daniel, though.
Yeah, I just wanted to offer a different perspective on NASA. I've worked with them for many, many years, both on both coasts, and they are some of the most brilliant and kind people that you could ever meet. I'm forever just blown away by the quality of people that I meet at NASA and that I get to work with at NASA. And in my opinion, you got to realize that NASA is a very weird organization in the way it's constructed, the way it's funded, and the way it's staffed. And essentially, the senior staff of NASA kind of lives at the emotional behest of the president. And I think that creates a scared environment at the top that creates a problem at a very serious level. And so I think offering these videos is a good idea because what it does is it gives people ammo. And that's the thing, is the people inside, most of the people inside are just as frustrated as anyone else. And so, supplying them with the tools so that they can be attacking this from the inside while we're attacking it from the outside, I think does add a lot of value. But I think, and I think the problem is, I think that what we all want to do is we all want there to be a boogeyman. We all want there to be someone we can hate for keeping this from us this whole time. And I think that it's easy to blame NASA for that. And I think that I don't know. I mean, like I even know the guy that ran NASA Ames for several years. I've spent hours talking to him. He's like he's he's such a dork. He's such a geek. He's a rocket nerd. He's like he's the biggest dork, and he's a really nice guy. And it's like
A Freemason?
It's huh? What about?
No. So, John, to your point, I think most of the people at NASA aren't actively covering up anything. I think they are just doing their jobs, right? I think,
exactly.
Yeah, I think they're good people, and they just don't know. Like most of us here, we just don't know.
Well, and I do think
it's
leadership. I do think there are. I do think they've had leadership off and on over time that has taken an active suppressive role, right? But the thing is, it's always been this kind of turnmill leadership that basically changes with every administration that ends up creating that problem.
It's a national security problem that just gets invoked at every turn. I'm sorry, Daniel, go ahead. And then grab it.
It's all good. I had to reconnect. I'm not sure. Was it David? I think he was in here when we were talking internet. Quick comment. I'm not sure if he mentioned this. He mentioned ARPANET.
He's still here.
Jacques Vallée. Okay, yeah, Jacques Vallée actually helped develop ARPANET originally. So that was interesting. Just a quick story on NASA. In 1986, this guy Frank Edwards worked down at Johnson Space Center, south of Houston, down here in Texas. He basically was working there one night, looked up, and as he was leaving the building there, he looked up and saw this strange gargoyle type creature up on the top of the building with red eyes that was like staring down at him, and he was so terrified he ran to his car and basically never told anyone the story other than his daughter, who recounted it later on. And he finally mustered up the courage to go and tell his superiors, and they said, "Oh yeah, we know all about that. That's why our guard dogs are missing." So he had later on been interrogated by some strange guys clad in black, who told him to pretty much shut up about it and to never talk to anyone about it again. So not sure what that was, but there's some kind of a strange gargoyle Mothman type thing perched up there on Johnson Space Center in 1986.
Hey, did those guys in black say they were from NASA?
Yeah, a few years later, in the El Yunque rainforest in Puerto Rico, this guy who had something killing his livestock went after it with a machete, and he swung at this thing, which was like covered in the brush, and it made a metallic sound as it scurried off. And then soon after that, a man and a woman in black came and asked him about it. Apparently, I don't know how they knew, but they somehow knew that this thing was killing his animals, and they were asking him and sort of interrogating him about it. And same thing, told him to shut up, to not tell anybody. And they claimed that they were from NASA.
The funny thing about that is I was just watching Moment of Contact today, and the guys the doctor, he was after the creatures were a week after the UFO crashes, the creatures are spotted in the city, and there's that those three girls that come across that creature that's like in that little alleyway, and then moments later there's this like UFO spotted like a block down, and it looks like it's up there for like 15 minutes with this doctor just looking up at it the whole time. And later he said he was approached by people that said they were Americans and they're from NASA, and said to him to like we were never here, you didn't talk to us and whatnot. Like why is fucking Americans there, first of all, saying shit like that, and people from NASA, like what the fuck? What's up, Gravity?
John, two things I want to ask you, and these are topics that some of you might have thought about or agree with or not. I don't know, but are you inferring that there are absolutely certain people in NASA that that might actually float in and out that room with all those view screens of what's going on in the space station at all times, that we always say that are absolutely, they know there's stuff going on. There might be a day at the office where they saw something. They know it exists, and they have bosses too, and they're told to not say anything, and they're told to cut to the blue screen of death when one of the cameras sees something on the live stream, and they know, and they're holding it, and they don't necessarily like to even.
And they feel like they live in Dilbert land because it's so insane and frustrating.
Okay, but seriously, yes, are you saying that as far as you know, as far as people,
Yes.
I don't know, they actually know that there's stuff up there. They know that those live cameras pick stuff up.
This is one of those things where essentially I think the lower rank you are at NASA, the more you know. And the
Yes.
higher you go up, the less you know.
Now, the other concept is this, and some people have spoke about this. My friends, some people in certain podcasts are of the mindset, and I tend to believe this, that there are things that they say, I can't believe they let that through. I can't believe they let this through. I can't believe there's something in that picture. And what they're doing is they do leave stuff in there for those in the know to go, yep, there's a ship on that Mars. Anyone see the Mars photo from the observer that you see this, like, what looks like a disc in the upper left, and then in a few frames later it's
Yeah, I
gone?
saw that.
Okay. Now, do they leave? John, is there a situation where some people in there are actually leaving stuff in there for people like us? And yes, they're doing that on purpose.
Well, it's a really interesting question, because we do actually have there was a woman that was interviewed a number of years ago that claimed to have been one of these artists that basically goes in and touches up NASA photos.
Yep, saw
And
her.
the thing is
Yep.
that you could certainly see a situation where a person in that role, right, if they had to say clean, especially when you consider, you're talking about, in some cases, film that's at 24 frames per second, right? If they were having to clear like 80 frames, would they possibly leave in 2 or 3 frames intentionally because they want it to get out, and it's not part of anyone's program, it's just them personally doing that? Yes, I think that is absolutely possible. But
Yes.
I also think the other one is possible, that you could end up with a mid-level manager of some sort that gains just enough power to do a little bit of good and is able to have some impact before getting squashed and trampled.
Exactly. Has anybody seen the photo of the desk where there's a photo of the moon and somebody's elbow is like kind of laying on the photo, and right underneath his elbow or next to it, you see like what looks to be just a square building near a crater or something. And it's an actual photo of, like, a day at the office, you know what I mean? And on the desk is this photo that shows what looks to be a four-sided building on the moon, and his elbow's like right next to the object on the photo, kind of thing. From what I remember, that's how the position was. Anybody recognize this photo?
No, I don't. I actually don't remember that one. But the thing that I find so troubling about the whole moon discussion is that um, uh, other countries now have the ability to look at the entire moon, and so if we had been hiding anything, or anyone had been hiding anything, I think that there would definitely be a challenge of seeing which one of the different countries would out which one of the countries the fastest based on which ran into which. The other challenge I have with it is I got involved in this program over at actually at NASA called the Frontier Development Program. It's this really cool program where essentially every year they pick like 12 or 15 students from different universities, and then that student is paired with a NASA person that has their specialty. So if you say are a geologist, right? They will team you with a NASA geologist, and then essentially you have the summer to take all the data that NASA has on the moon, take all the data they have, and essentially use machine learning and the NASA engineer to come up with some cool new thing, right? And that's your project for the summer. And at the end of the summer, you have to present what you came up with, and one team wins, and blah blah blah, right? It's a really cool program. I love it. It's really cool, and it's a great thing for students. It's a cool program. But the thing is that we get access to the data for the whole freaking planet. Like I mean like every square inch of the moon. So that's the other thing I don't understand is that there is data available, and a lot of this data is available to the public of the entire surface of the moon, every square foot of it, because they're mapping it. So what I don't understand is that how could there have been all these structures, and now they're gone? That's what I
Because
like.
it's all a lie.
Yeah, they can see dust on the moon, right?
It's to me it's very challenging that to me like I was willing to go out on a limb and assume that these buildings that I was seeing in pictures were real, and now I'm in a situation where it's very hard to believe that's true, and so now you start asking, well, wait a second, then is it possible that they were temporary and that they were removed? Is it possible that someone was intentionally trying to make it look
Well,
like we
and
were
John,
more aggressive on the moon than we were?
also,
knows?
like if you look at like something like Skinwalker Ranch, I saw a picture of that recently where it seemed like these orbs were almost coming from the ground, and it seems like a lot of these things are underground anyways. So like, would they even need a structure on the moon?
Well,
I don't
yes,
think they
no,
would.
and actually, there have been studies published about essentially these gigantic lava tubes that exist underneath the moon. That essentially, we could essentially build massive structures down there, and essentially all the studies, because there was a NASA project to build a moon base back in I forget what decade it was, and some of it was published. And essentially, most of it included underground enclosures because it was the only way to protect yourself from all the radiation.
Guys, I'm all confused because I don't understand. I posted the other day in the chat on the space a photo of the moon and a photo of a map of the Earth, and they are exactly the same. As it shows that the moon is a mirror, but nobody, like 4 people looked at it. I don't understand. It's like it's right there in front of your eyes.
Here, let me tell you, Michael, why it didn't pan out. It's because they didn't understand what they were looking at. You need to maybe be a little
That's
bit more.
right. You're right. I realized that. I need to put this is the Earth and this is the moon.
Yeah,
Why
you don't
are
just
they
have
the
to
same?
advertise your idea. You have to invite them into the restaurant, sit them down, tie them to the seat, and force feed them your idea. Otherwise, they're not going to get it.
Can you try that again, Michael?
I just thought I thought they would see the two photos and realize they were exactly the same, but then I realized, well, no, people are just so stupid nowadays. They're not going to notice that two things are identical. I have to say, look, ow, look, motherfucker, take a look at these photos. They are the same, bitch.
Can you post that up top?
Yeah, I can do that.
Daniel?
Yeah, it's good to have